German Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Vietnam, AHK Vietnam, was established in 1994 in Hanoi, with its first headquarters at Lý Thái Tổ Street, Hoàn Kiếm District, Hanoi. In 2005, AHK Vietnam opened an office in Ho Chi Minh City, marking the expansion of cooperation to all regions in Vietnam. Over the past 30 years of operation, AHK Vietnam has promoted trade connections and supported economic relations between Vietnam and Germany. Currently, Germany is Vietnam's largest trading partner in the European Union (EU), and Vietnam has also become one of Germany's largest trading partners in Southeast Asia. Currently, there are about 500 German enterprises operating in Vietnam, creating nearly 50,000 jobs, thereby continuing to make positive contributions to bilateral economic relations.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Station Vietnam, Trạm Việt Nam, and my name is Xuân An. Being 30 years in Vietnam with the role of connecting trade between Germany and Vietnam, the German Chamber of Industry and Commerce has made many important contributions in bringing the relationship on investment cooperation with Vietnam and Germany to the next level. To better understand these activities, today we are pleased to introduce you our guest, the Chief Representative of German Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Marco Walder. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Yeah, good morning. So first of all, thank you very much for having me. And of course, I also wish a very nice day and a good morning to the whole audience of VTC10. And I'm very happy and very pleased to be here again. And I hope you enjoy the interesting program.
Thank you so much. That was impressive. All right, so let's go straight into the questions. Our first one would be, so your 30th anniversary is coming up of GIC being in Vietnam. So can you share with us a little bit more about the development journey in the past years?
Yeah, sure. So you're right, and I think looking back, this journey was very successful and also very intense. As you know, that our business relationship between our two countries, Vietnam and Germany, are quite successful. We had recently, of course, a free trade agreement with the European Union, and right now Vietnam is in a focus, I would say even it's a hotspot of German investments in Asia today. And looking back, I think it's very funny. Of course, I'm here now 12 years, so not so good 30 years. But when I see the old pictures and also I hear the stories from other people around, so we set our first office in 1994 in Hanoi. And then 2005, we opened a second office in Ho Chi Minh City. By the meantime, we also witnessed the foundation of the German Business Association. I think these are really some very important milestones. And as you see now, we are in Deutsche Haus. I think, in 1994, we started with one staff in Hanoi, and right now we have almost 30. So also our organization is growing. So we also started with other fields of activities. So we have now really a proper market entry service. 10 years ago, we started with our activities for vocational training. So it's still our mission to carry out everything what is necessary to make a German company successful in Vietnam, but also, of course, what need Vietnamese companies going to Germany. So this is still, it was from the beginning, and still until today, this is deep in our DNA. That we are working bilateral. So we promote German companies here, but of course we also support Vietnamese companies going to Germany and to Europe in general.
With the mission of supporting and promoting economic growth between the two nations, how has GIC prioritized their activities?
Maybe also the other way around. So when we look to the achievements today, we have approximately 450 German companies active in Vietnam today. Amongst them, we have 87 production companies, and they created more than 50,000 jobs here in Vietnam. It's always our demand and always our mission, our goal, really to be very close to the company. So, and to have really a look what the company needs in the current situation. And to run a successful production company, of course, you need education, you need skilled workers. So therefore we started to educate industrial mechanics, but also mechatronics. And the next step will be that we have to put a lot of our capacities to the green development of the country, because this will be very crucial. Vietnam was attractive in the past and it's attractive today, but now we have also to forecast a bit and to see what makes or what keep Vietnam also attractive maybe in 5 years or in 10 years. And this is what we see right now. Our German companies, we have a lot of pressure from our national government, also from the international finance markets. Everyone has to fulfill ESG standards. And therefore it's really necessary that everyone can produce at least partly with green energy here in Vietnam. And I think this is the future, and so educating people, put more capacities in the green growth of the country. And of course, then I'm quite optimistic that Vietnam still is attractive also in 5 years. And this is just the investment side. But when we see on the trade side, so today our bilateral volume, trade volume is 19 billion euro. And this is in ASEAN, together with Malaysia, is Vietnam the biggest trade partner. Yeah, really far before Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, and so on. And I think this is a very great achievement, what we did the last 10 years here.
Yes. So currently, GIC in Vietnam also taking on the markets of Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar. How do you rate the economic growth of Vietnam compared to other markets? And how do you plan to help us develop the companies according to the COMB?
So this is right. So since 1st of May, we also took over this responsibility. And it's very interesting to see even all the 4 countries are in ASEAN and also are members in the ASEAN Economic Community. But all the countries are totally different. Yeah, so each country has the individual characteristic. We have different political systems, different histories, and of course also different level of development. Just in Vietnam, seeing that about the own country, maybe some things are really different when you compare, okay, how is it in Myanmar, how is it in Cambodia, how is it in Laos? But we are a business organization, and as a business organization, we have to be optimistic. And despite all the situation, also we have to see where are the potentials. And here are potentials for every country, so we will also carry out this market entry services. And we also will put some efforts in the development of green energy for sure in all the countries. We have the first contacts maybe to support a bit the vocational training system in Cambodia. We also recognize if the countries are working together, maybe really as a regional sub-region, this could be really for the benefit of all the 4 countries.
Office of the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Ho Chi Minh City is located at German House. This is one of the most modern and energy-efficient office buildings in the leading economic center of the southern region of Vietnam. Here, you can meet businesses from many different states of Germany and visit a startup incubator for businesses of the 2 countries.
With the two offices in active operation in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, does GIC have any upcoming plan to establish a third office in the central part of Vietnam?
It's a very good question, and I get the question very often.
Yeah.
I would say not yet. Yeah. So to set an office, you need always a certain potential and also a certain number of companies being active there. And I think this potential is, this number is not reached yet, but we are very we observing this very closely, of course. And so far we have other ways to support the companies also in the central of Vietnam. We have a very close cooperation with the German Business Association and also with the Eurotram. So I think both organizations appointed one company in the central to fulfill some representation functions and also to be like a first contact point. And of course we are organizing also events. Yeah? So this is just 1 hour by airplane. And but we will really increase our visibility also in Da Nang, also in Quang Nam. Maybe also in Hue in the near future.
Yes. So GIC continue to consider the Vietnamese market as the key one. How do you come up with any plan to promote the activities here more?
So I think for the German companies, 2 things: strengthen the vocational training system, and secondly also to promote this green growth in Vietnam in general. That the companies. You have really to imagine, very concrete, at the end of the year, a company has to prove which part or how many % of the energy consumption is coming from a green energy source. Mm-hmm. And so this level in Vietnam is still very low, and this has to be changed, and also fast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these are the 2 things I think where we really can support mainly the German companies here. The second part are the Vietnamese companies. And as you know, the Vietnamese companies, they also want to benefit from the free trade agreement, for example, with the European Union. Yes. To enjoy the advantages of the free trade agreement, you have to prove the label made in Vietnam. And for this made in Vietnam, you need also some essential parts of the production has to be here in Vietnam. And therefore you need modern machineries, better equipment. And so here we are really willing to support the Vietnamese companies. And of course they also have to meet the international standards. And therefore Vietnamese companies, maybe if they don't have too many experiences yet, maybe come with us for a business trip to Germany, for a delegation to Germany, to visit maybe a trade fair. Yeah, to get a first impression, what are the other companies in Europe, but also worldwide, what they are doing, how the solutions look like.
The year 2024 will see the 30th year of GIC here in Vietnam. So how would you celebrate that? What events will be held to mark this journey?
Okay, so again, it's a very good question, but maybe a bit too early. So we are so busy right now, what is very good. That we really don't have a concrete plan. Yeah, but for sure, so next year will be a very important year for us. Yes. So we will celebrate that not only with one event, but we also want in each activities or in each core activity which we have, maybe we will also set some individual events for each business unit. Yeah, so you will see this anniversary for our market entry department, for the vocational training, and also for other activities.
Thank you for joining our program today. That's the end of our show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and see you again.